Osu is a simple game. Click the circles to the beat and hold on the sliders. It's easy to pick up and surprisingly fun. But as you get better, the difficulty ramps up as circles get faster, smaller, and more spread out. At some point, you just stop consciously thinking about when and where to click. To the untrained eye, it looks impressive, but to players, it's just muscle memory.
I picked up the game almost a year ago, and I've been really enjoying it.
I'm just a humble 6-digit with 200 PP DT farm top plays. This is my top play that I'm pretty proud of, which requires some decent reading, consistency, and aiming.
However, this is nowhere near the level of top players today.
Emrek, the dominant number 1 player, recently broke the diabolical 2000 PP barrier by setting this PP record, which is basically 5 minutes of insanely fast jumps like this.
And that got me wondering, do I even have the physical hardware to pull off those kinds of scores?
Could I move my tablet pen that fast to make those huge jumps to extract that much PP?
Then, I thought of an idea that I haven't seen anyone do before. Reverse mapping.
What if I made a program that spawns a note exactly when and where you click, creating a custom map and a perfect replay from your cursor data? This way, I could test whether, if I hit every note perfectly, I'd be physically capable of the speed and tapping needed to break the PP record.
By the way, this is not cheating, as this is all offline and done for fun. I do not endorse cheating.
I'm unironically cheating!
I decided to start by simply making an interface where you can click and show circles.
Since I wanted anyone to be able to try it, I built it as a website, and for that, you only need 3 things.
HTML for the structure, CSS for the styling, and JavaScript for the behavior. Almost all of the code is in the JavaScript file, and all the code I will show you will be the JavaScript stuff. Here's the code that registers a hit, and here's the code that shows the circle and plays the sound. By the way, all the final code is open source and in the GitHub repository in the description if you want to check it out. Even at this point, it was already pretty fun to play around with, just spamming circles. I also added sliders at one point, but encoding the curved shape, ticks, and repeats were a mess, so I just cut them out.
Next, I had to figure out how to turn those clicks into a real Osu map and a matching replay.
Fortunately, the open source Osu Laser codebase was a huge help for referencing things like input handling and file structure. I learned that Osu maps are basically just text files with timing and positioning data. So, if I could just log the cursor position and key press time, I could write that into a valid map file.
Now, let's test if creating the map works correctly.
And, as you can see, the map encoding works. But this map is useless and unplayable without the replays.
Replays, though, are a whole different beast.
They store every input frame and compress it all into binary. So, I had to record all your movements and clicks, and then compress it just like Osu does. I also made a menu to load your own skin and beat map, added snapping options, mod toggles, and a feature called Snap to Edge, which places circles at the edge of your cursor instead of the center. And let's see if it works. Yeah, this is a mess, and nothing is synced. The problem is that the cursor is passing over the circles as it should, but the player key presses are not snapped to the correct time, causing the misses. Okay, after fixing some stuff, let's see if it works now. Nice. I'm honestly so happy that it finally worked. And it works really well. The replay shows the cursor hitting pretty much everything, no matter how fast I spam or move the cursor, even if I shrink the circle size down to an insane level.
Now it's time to actually try it out, to see if I can theoretically break the PP record.
I'll be using edge mode, since it moves the circles away from the cursor center, creating bigger jumps. Obviously, I could just make the circle size insanely small and break it easily, but I think that's not fair, so I'm just gonna try to do it with a standard circle size of 5 and no mods. Also, I enabled enforced playfield boundaries by default, which means you can't map outside the playfield, which excludes the edges of the screen and is necessary for all ranked maps. You can disable this and the circles can spawn outside of it, but I will not be using this for the PP record attempt either. I picked Monochrome Butterfly for the map because it's a popular farm map, which is fitting, and it's only like a minute long, and I want to challenge myself to beat the PP record within the map length. And let's get into it. Okay, I think this was a good attempt. Let's see.
So, can I break the PP record? I guess so.
I got the score after like an hour of trying, and it was way harder than I expected. A big problem is that huge jumps are surprisingly difficult to map, as you have to move the cursor to the edge of the screen at the right time, which takes more precision than you think. So I just went with spamming while repeatedly spinning. As you can see in Emrek's PP record replay, which involved a lot of fast jumps, he hits every turn and direction change exactly on time. Meanwhile, mine is just kind of all over the place. The tool itself is super easy to use though. I challenge you to try it. Even if you're not good at Osu, just go to the website, spam some inputs, download the map and replay, and see if you can beat my score.
Now, sit back and enjoy these cool clips I made using this tool for the rest of the video.
In conclusion, even though I managed to break the PP record using reverse mapping, it does not mean I could even come close to performing in Osu at high difficulties, as it's basically just moving your tablet pen around fast and spamming. In reality, Osu at a high level involves precise and consistent aiming, as well as tapping at the right times. If I really wanted, I could probably play more and spam for like 5 minutes straight and get like 2500 PP. But I'm happy with just breaking the PP record. This program is fun to trial and make ridiculous PP scores, but it's also a cool way to just do cursor dancing and make cool looking replays that don't necessarily push the limits of PP. Again, you can check out the browser player at this website, linked in the description.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to join the brand new Discord server.